I'm going to be tying the JuJu Baetis, and it comes from the Vice, a world-renowned tyer, Charlie Craven. I'm going to be tying it on an Allen Fly Fishing N304 hook. This particular hook is a straight eye, 2x short, thin wire, reverse bend emerger hook. This hook is by far one of my personal favorites within the product line of AFF. So check them out by visiting www.allenflyfishing.com. Go ahead and start by attaching some white 70 denier ultra thread at the index point of the hook and cut off the excess thread. Continue to advance your thread, ending with your thread hanging a little less than halfway down the actual bend of the hook. Using a mottled brown hen hackle feather for the tail, go ahead and preen off a small bunch of fibers, ensuring that the tips are aligned, and measure them against the hook shank so they are about a half a shank length long. Go ahead and attach them at the end of the thread base. Once attached, continue to advance your thread forward, making sure that each thread wrap lies next to the previous one and that the hackle is tied down on top of the hook shank as you wrap. With your thread hanging in line with the point of the hook, go ahead and cut off the butt ends of the hackle as close as you can to the tie down point. Now grab 2 strands of brown super hair and 1 strand of black and cut them evenly. Secure the super hair to the near side of the hook shank and begin to advance your thread towards the base of the tails. Now create a smooth and tapered thread base with your thread ending at the 70% point of the hook shank. Now tightly grasp the 3 individual strands of super hair and begin to wrap them around the hook shank. You want to make sure that each wrap of the super hair lies against the previous wrap of super hair, so it helps to use your fingers or a bodkin needle to press the wraps of super hair towards the previous one, ensuring that no thread base is showing through. With the super hair on the near side of the hook shank at the 70% point, go ahead and bind them down with secure thread wraps and cut off the remaining butt ends of the hair as close as you can to the tie down point. With the whip finish tool, go ahead and secure the thread to the hook shank and clip the excess thread. Using some black Gordon Griffiths 14-aught shear thread, go ahead and attach it just behind the eye and cut off the excess thread. To create the flashback of the fly, prepare a 2-inch piece of Mirage Opal Tencel, size medium, and attach it to the top of the hook shank at the 80% point. Now advance your thread back to the 60% point of the hook shank, ensuring that the tensile is aligned on top of the hook shank as you wrap. Now advance your thread forward with your thread hanging just at the initial tie down point of the tensile. To create the wing case and the legs of the fly, go ahead and prepare 10 to 12 individual strands of gray fluorofiber and attach them to the top of the hook shank. Now advance your thread back towards the 60% point, ensuring that the fluorofiber is aligned on top of the hook shank as you wrap. Now advance your thread forward and cut off the butt ends of the fluorofiber as close as you can to the tie down point. Now advance your thread forward towards the eye of the hook, creating a smooth and tapered thorax. With your thread hanging just behind the eye, grab the fluorofiber and pull them over the top of the thorax and secure them with 2 thread wraps, ensuring that the wing case is centered on top of the hook shank. Grab the tensile and secure it to the top of the hook shank with 2 thread wraps. Now pull the tensile back towards the bend of the hook and secure with 2 more thread wraps. Now grasp 5 or 6 fluorofibers and tie them on the far side of the hook shank with 2 secure thread wraps. Grab the remaining 5 or 6 fluorofibers and attach them to the near side of the hook shank with 2 secure thread wraps. With the whip finish tool, go ahead and create a small thread head and cut off the excess thread. Now go ahead and cut off the excess tensile as close as you can to the tie down point. Now trim the legs so they extend slightly past the thorax. Using some Loon's UV clear fly finish, apply a very small amount to the top of the hook shank, beginning at the base of the tails and ending on the top of the thread head. Prior to curing the fly finish with a UV light, ensure that the fly has a smooth taper from the thorax back to the base of the tail. And that's how you tie Charlie Craven's JuJu Baetis.